This town wasn't big enough for the two of us, Rona. Well, I'm alive. What is going on, Biggers? It is your boy. Note to self, change name for subscribers. Anyways, what is going on? It has been a while. 2 weeks, in fact, and I'm sure from the title of the video, the clickbait title, I had to do it, I'm sorry, but did I have COVID? And the answer is no. The short answer is no. The long answer is I was afraid I did. Turned out it was strep throat, which also sucks terribly. But I had to go through the whole COVID thing, self-quarantine for 2 weeks. So like the last 2 weeks, I literally have only been in one room, except for like at night I was allowed to go shower and whatnot. But even like the bathroom and stuff, I could not leave the room. And I had to get tested, which also kind of sucks. Not terrible, but if you haven't seen it, they shove a little like swab up your nose, and it's not very pleasant. Turns out I did not have it, so yay me, I guess. But it really did kind of put in perspective how this is just ridiculous. I cannot believe that America is treating this so stupidly. People should have just completely social distance for a couple months, and then we could have been back to normal like New Zealand and a bunch of other places are. But no, stupid idiots had to go and break it. And if you're one of those people, or you know one of those people that aren't wearing masks, you have my permission to bitch slap them. I know I didn't have it, but I basically went through the whole process of having it, and so my permission is granted to bitch slap anyone who's complaining about the masks or doing some stupid shit about that and not social distancing. Anywho, to make up for the lost content of the last 2 weeks, we shall be doing a fun little speedrun mega edition bigger tracks of the week of all of the music. Lots of good music has been released in the last couple weeks, so it's not going to be everything like I usually do if I do the whole week. It's going to be like the best releases of the last couple of weeks, which there have been a lot of good ones. And then besides that, I'm going to get back into uploading The Last of Us 2 Let's Play. Lots of Modern Warfare funny moments, because I got to play a lot of games since I was stuck in a room for the last 2 weeks, so I did get lots of moments. And other than that, hope you guys enjoyed that little intro skit, and let's get into it. Alright, well, we have a new single from Kevin Gates, Difficult. He's been kind of quiet this year after releasing one of my favorite projects of last year, so hopefully this is a tease for a new album coming up. And by the way, we're going to be going back in time, so we're starting with the newest stuff and then slowly making our way back, but we're starting with the singles like usual. Next up, we have Hurt World 99, a new single from City Morgan. I believe they have announced a new project, and this is the first single for it. This is one of their harder hitting songs, really rock-based, really nice riff in the background, so give this a shot if you liked all the City Morgan projects, who also released my favorite project of last year. Next up, we have one of the strangest collabs of maybe the decade, let alone this year. We have the Eminem Kid Cudi song, The Adventures of Moon Man and Slim Shady, which was a lot better than I expected. So, give that a shot. I mean, I love both of them. Both of them probably some of my favorite artists. Did not expect them to mesh so well together, but hey, they did. Next up, we have a new song from Germ. I'm sure you guys have most heard of Germ from his Suicide Boy collabs, Dirty Nasty Suicide, Dirtier Nastier Suicide. But he also releases some of his own music, and Walked In's a new single by him, and probably one of the most hard-hitting songs of the whole year. It went straight to my Whooperino Dinkerino playlist. Check that out. My link is in the description. Next up, we have Water Whippin' Wizard, which is another bizarre collab. This one between Riff Raff and Yellow Wolf. This was actually a single for Riff Raff's Vanilla Gorilla project, which he released, and it was alright, but I think this song was definitely the highlight. It was all produced by Ronnie J, so this was a collab album between Riff Raff and Ronnie J. So Yellow Wolf and Riff Raff on a Ronnie J beat. To give this a shot. It's a bizarre song, but I love it just for the novelty. Next up, we have the fifth of Enely Choppa's Shot of Flows, which might be the second best, bar the original, so give this a shot if you like this Shot of Flow series. This might be like the longest running song series of all time at this point. Shout out Emily Choppa. Next up, we have The Bigger Picture from Lil Baby, which is probably the best Black Lives Matter protest song that was released in like the stretch. Definitely way better than Jermaine Cole's. Have you guys heard that? Because it was awful. J. Cole's a clown, and he always will be a clown, but Lil Baby, his lyrical game on this stepped up really big. The Bigger Picture, and shout out him, man. This is a great song. Next up, we have the sequel to Vulture's Cry from Kodak Black. Vulture's Cry was probably the best song off Heartbreak Kodak, but you guys haven't listened to this project. It's basically all recorded on a jail phone and sounds absolutely terrible. And Vulture's Cry is really good song, but the audio quality is awful, so it's nice that we got a sequel that has fine quality audio, even though Kodak is still in jail at the moment, so I guess it was recorded before. Alright, so now we can get into the full-length projects. This new recent project from Thou Zanban Fani is really good. His friend Uno the Activist, aka a certain somebody's cousin, Playboy Cardi, also released a project very recently. But I think Thou Zanban Fani's is the stronger project overall. And I also just found out that Thou Zanban Fani and Uno both star in a very hilarious video. So I'll show a clip of it right here. And
oh yeah, you smart. Oh, Uno the Activist to the rescue. Uno the act. 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 Oh shit. Hold up.
I did not know that these were the two in this video, but it's the funniest shit I've seen in a hot minute. Next up, we have a new album from Kyle. And I've never been the biggest fan of Kyle, but this project is actually surprisingly really good. Both singles, Bouncin' and Yes, I believe I'd covered in previous Tracks of the Week episodes, but they're both really good. And then all these other songs I saved are really good. Even the ones I didn't save just weren't really my style. They're more of the I Spy Kyle kind of, the more lighthearted. But Girls Are Freako Nasty, Forget with Trippie Redd and Dior, See You When I'm Famous with Too Short. This is basically like a G-Funk Bay Area track. This is basically like an emo Trippie Redd and Dior Juice WRLD track. And Girls is kind of like a bubblegum trap track like Rico Nasty's used to. So he switches up his style, matches everyone he gets, and it's very interesting. So shout out Kyle for a really diverse and unique project. Next up, we have Joey Badass released an EP recently, and I'm not the hugest Joey Badass fan, but this EP is really good. So give this a shot if you like Joey Badass, or even if you don't and kind of want to get into him. I think this is a great introduction to him. This is a great little EP. Each song hits hard. Next up, we have the posthumous release from Juice WRLD, Legends Never Die. I don't think it is quite as good as Death Race for Love or Goodbye and Good Riddance, but it is very good. The one issue I kind of had with it is that they specifically went out of their way to make sure every song has like the same kind of thematic message, like drugs and death and depression. So it is like a very emotional record to get through, but I think it kind of takes away from what Juice would do with his projects and kind of give a little bit of something for everybody, because, you know, the man had so many different styles he could cover. If you haven't listened to some of his older music, he could do like every single style possible, and this is all kind of very similar, which is the problem I had with it. But overall, I think the back half was probably my favorite, so give this a shot. Obviously, I'm sure many of you have already. Next up, we have Gucci Mane's album, which was kind of like a label sample / a Gucci Mane record. His new label, the new 1017. So no flock on this one. But the back half, which is the label sampler, is borderline unlistenable. I don't know where he finds these people. They're not great. Pooh Shiesty's kind of alright, but he's got a stupid name like Pooh Shiesty. I don't want to go around saying, hey, yo, you're the new Pooh Shiesty track. But the first half, which is the Gucci record, is some of the best music I've heard Gucci release in a while. He sounds really hungry, which is kind of crazy for a man who's been in the game for as long as he has, but His energy's high. The Young Thug features, the Baby features, all the features are really good. So give this a shot if you're a Gucci fan, which you better be. Next up, we have another posthumous release. This one from Pop Smoke. And this is a project that I liked a lot. It is interesting because I left a Reddit post album review on this, so I actually kind of have a lot of thoughts on this. It's not really his New York trap drill style that he was famous for, and I think that's all right because Meet the Woo 1 and 2 are basically perfect examples of that sound. He didn't really need to keep doing it again and again because he'd already perfected it, at least in my opinion. So this is a lot of different styles that he was kind of experimenting with, like the Woo and Gangstas and Get It On Me are all kind of like 50 Cent style tracks, like early New York sound. And a lot of the back half is like love song sounding stuff that wasn't like my favorite in the experimenting, but I also really liked that he was diversifying his sound. Overall, my favorite tracks were probably For the Night, Creature, and Got It On Me, which samples or kind of flips Many Men by 50 Cent. And I think this was a good project, a lot more interesting than the Juice WRLD project in my opinion, because Juice WRLD was just more of the same, what people expected, but this Pop Smoke record really showed what he would have been capable of if he hadn't tragically gotten killed. Next up, we have IDK and Friends, which is the sequel to his project he released a couple years ago. I'm not sure if it was exactly last year. It wasn't. It was 2018. Thank you, Spotify. But this sequel, I actually really enjoyed the first IDK and Friends, but I think IDK and Friends 2 blew it out of the water. This is some of the best music I've heard the whole year. Mazel Tov and 495 are singles I'd already saved, but Square Up with Juicy J, it honestly might be my favorite song of the year so far. This song is amazing. Overall, shout out my boy IDK for releasing a really solid all-around project. And give it up to IDK, I mean, damn. Next up, we have Smoke Perp, who also released probably one of my favorite projects of the year so far. Smoke Perp is absolutely, unbelievably consistent on this project. Almost every single song slaps. All the features come through. Denzel, Rick Ross, Jack Harlow, who I'm not the biggest fan of. What's Poppin'? Brand New Whip Just Happened. Actually, the Jack Harlow remix of that song isn't too bad, but overall, this project, which has a lot of Ronnie J production, obviously they're been worked in a lot in the past besides this, but this whole project is amazing. It might make my end of the year list, so shout out Smoke Perp. Next up, we have a album from Lil Peep, I guess another posthumous album from Lil Peep. I'm shocked how well Lil Peep's camp has been handling his posthumous music. Basically every project they release sounds like a completely finished project. I think a lot of these songs are old, but at the same time, the fact that they're getting it on the streaming services, when there's like a lot of XXX music that really should be on streaming services, and instead they went the way of making some weird Frankenstein cut together new songs with terrible features. Just unbelievably terrible, but Lil Peep's posthumous music has all been amazing, so give this a shot if you like Lil Peep. And then last but not least, we have A Drug Dealing is a Lost Art, the debut project from RMR. And I love this. I thought this was amazing. I think RMR is my favorite new artist. I'm an RMR stan now. This whole thing is great. Obviously the singles, Dealer, Rascal, and I'm Not Over You, I'd all enjoyed. And these 3 new songs were great. And shout out RMR, man. I want to hear more from him. Hopefully his identity always is a secret, because I love the fact that he's just some random dude. So that's it. Hope you guys have enjoyed my return to YouTube. Get ready for lots more videos to kind of make up for the lack of content. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
For my life, can't say that, girl. Don't tell me you could say that shit. All she want is payback for